April has been a phenomenal month for trading, and I hope everyone was able to capitalize on all the opportunities that set up this month. Now, obviously, there's been a ton of volatility, whether it is tariff news or stock earnings or anything like that, and that's what allowed me to make over $48,000 in these two Apex accounts this month. So let's go over the stats. It was not the prettiest month and not every trade was a winner. As you can see, my win rate is only right around 60%, but I locked in over $33,000 in profit. And I'm not going to go into my trading strategy in this video. I posted that in my last video, so make sure you check that out. But I've only been using 1 to 3 NASDAQ mini contracts. I haven't sized up crazy or anything. The reason why the biggest winner is 18,000 is because at one point I caught like a 300-point ripper with 3 NASDAQ contracts. And as you can see on here, my biggest loser was $1,400. I like to play a more of a scalping strategy, which allows me to get out of losers if it goes against me and just hold my winners longer. Now, if we hop into the second account that has a large buffer here, we can see over $15,000, almost $16,000 in profit, with my largest winner being around $1,800, which is more realistic. I shoot for between $500 and $2,000 a day, just purely taking what the market gives me, not forcing anything and not sizing up too big. As you can see here, I did have a pretty big red day on this account. I did overtrade and let my emotions get the best of me, but thankfully we were able to recover by keeping my position size the same, taking small scalps, and slowly battling back. And like I've said in every one of my videos, I'm not the best trader in the world. I'm just documenting my process. I'm trying to get to an uncapped payout from Apex. So let's see if I can get like the full $50,000 in the 6th uncapped payout. We are about to request the 4th payout from both of these accounts today. And with that being said, just as a full summary of April, I did have a $4,000 payout approved, $2,000 per account earlier this month. I did submit my second account for another $4,000, again, $2,000 from each account, and that got denied because I did have a day where I went below the 30% trailing threshold. And if you're not familiar with that, that's just one of the new Apex 3.0 rules, which is essentially just saying the starting balance of the day, you cannot have a losing trade that exceeds 30% of what the starting balance was. So if a trade dips below 30% of your total profit in that account, you need to close the trade. There was, I think, one day where it was actually the biggest day that I had. I was actually down, I think, $4,000 on the account. And obviously that was back when the account balances were not that high. So I did jump within that 30% threshold. Of course, after that, as you've seen on the recap, I hit my $18,000 trade, which brought that account back to positive, but unfortunately, that's why my last payout was denied. I do have a video that went over that if you're interested on my channel. Also, I mentioned in my previous videos that I was starting a $1,000 options account this month, so we are actually already up to $1,764 from that initial $1,000 in the last 2 weeks. I was unsure if I wanted to use the Thinkorswim like Charles Schwab platform or if I wanted to reopen my Interactive Brokers account. So as you can see, I made 2 deposits of $500 to open this account and fund it. So the starting balance was like $1,007, and then slow, consistent gains over pretty much the last 2 weeks has racked it up to $1,700. And I would say trading a small options account has definitely helped me hold on to my trades longer and allow my NASDAQ trades to move and just kind of like let the trade play out. If it's going to hit my stop, let it hit my stop, but like actually give it some breathing room, because previously I was setting my stop to break even like almost immediately and I was getting stopped out quite a bit. And I know there's been like a bunch of scandals of like fake gurus online like talking about their profit and stuff. So this is like an actual live screen recording of actual Charles Schwab, my broker, my individual account. Obviously I'm going to go in here and like blur out some of the account numbers and such, but it's just what it is. No weird gimmicks or anything. These are all the trades that I've taken. As you can see, nothing's crazy. I'm not like YOLOing my whole account. I'm just, $40 here, $60, $20, $100, like all this stuff adds up, and I think a lot of people forget about this whole compound effect. And you can see, like, I'm using 1 to 2 contracts of either SPY or QQQ. There was one day I traded Tesla and broke even, but pretty much all my profit has been coming from SPY and QQQ, mainly SPY, but since I trade the NASDAQ, sometimes I'll pair some options with it there. But yeah, this is where we're at. Let me know if you guys are interested in some more like detailed overview, like the options trading. I think for the most part, I'm going to try to do like either weekly or monthly recaps, and I'm definitely going to do a video of the uncapped Apex payout, hopefully next month. And this is by no means like bragging or anything like that. I am actively working with like trying to teach a bunch of my friends how to trade and trying to get people like in the door and get them familiar with trading. And obviously like videos like this of like P&L, like huge months is what's going to attract a bigger audience. But a majority of my future content outside of like the big Apex uncapped payout is going to be like, you know, things that changed my trading, like things that allowed me to become profitable, things I wish I would have knew like sooner, like common mistakes and pitfalls that newer trader makes, more of like that like zero to hero, I guess you would say, kind of playlist. And I do think I'm going to reach back out to Bookmap and see if I can get some kind of partnership and kind of like go in depth on like a lot of the stuff that I like to look at there, like working with like visual heat maps and like how liquidity is what you should focus on, not necessarily these like random guru concepts, because the market purely trades off of price action and volume. Not to get too much on a rant here, but one thing I've noticed with newer traders is for some reason everyone's convinced that there's like an indicator, like this indicator is like the best indicator and it's going to print me millions of dollars. And truthfully, if there was an indicator out there that was going to print a bunch of money, it would already be in an algorithm and it would actually probably no longer work anymore because the market adapts and always changes. So if any of this sounds like something you're interested in, if you had any questions, make sure you leave that down in the comment section below. I currently don't have many followers, so it's a lot easier for me to actually engage and respond to each and every individual question, and I will always try to do that even as the channel grows in the future. And if you're really struggling and you actually have data and screenshots and stuff like that for your trades, definitely reach out and email me and we can go over some things and like recommendations and that kind of stuff. Again, I'm not selling any course. I'm not some financial guru, and this is not financial advice. I've just been studying the markets for the last like 7 years. I've looked at charts every single day and I've pretty much seen everything and all the different kind of market conditions. So maybe there's some insight that can help flip something for your trading, and potentially maybe there's something that you're seeing that I'm not seeing that I can potentially incorporate or look for in the future. And this all comes back to one of my favorite proverbs, which is 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So let's all just try to grow together. We're not in competition with each other. We can all win. Like your winning or my winning does not affect the amount of winning that like you can have or someone else can have. We can all get this money together. And speaking of money, here is the live payout request for both accounts. As you can see, $2,000 for each account. And this is, it says payout request number 5, but this is actually payout request number 4 for each account. And then once this one's approved, we just need one more payout, and then we can potentially get that uncapped like $40,000 or $50,000 payout, and that's ultimately the goal. It'll be my first uncapped payout through Apex, so I'll definitely make sure to document the process, the review time, and all of that. So if you found anything helpful from this video or you had any questions, make sure you like and subscribe and comment down below.